Hey, I'm Shannon. I am, like many of you, quarantined. So I thought it would be really fun to do a makeup tutorial using only drugstore makeup products. That is typically what I use. I do not know much about makeup, and especially during this time where you may be wanting to, cut a couple costs here and there. I think it'd be fun to show you how I do my makeup using only the makeup products that I find at my local drugstore. So the first thing I'm going to do is find a fun scrunchie because it's always fun to look at pretty things. And so I'm going to tie my hair back just to kind of get my hair off my face. Okay. And then as you can see, I've got my makeup products here. I'm just going to dump them all out so that I can pick them up in order of how I typically use them. So, okay. So first, I usually start with this really fun True Match Lumi Glotion. This is by L'Oreal Paris, and it's just like one of those really fun things that they say you're supposed to put lotion on your face before you start your makeup routine. So I figured, why not have something that is a little bit more shimmery because I am in my 30s. So anything that gives me a little bit of a dewy look, I like to definitely do that. So I'm just going to put a little bit on my fingers, and it's just a really fun shimmer that it gives you. I'm just gonna put it on my cheeks mainly, on my chin, and then I'm gonna hit my forehead a little bit. And it just kind of provides you with a nice, glowy, kind of shimmery look that goes under what I'm gonna do next, which is I just use a Dream BB cream. It's an 8-in-1 beauty balm, and this one is by Maybelline. And this one it's got pomegranate extract in it, which I thought was really cool. And this is the light medium sheer tint. So I'm just gonna put this on my fingers. I don't use a whole lot of tools. Typically it's just because A, I don't really know how to use them, and B, I really don't have time. I am a working gal. So a lot of times I just don't really have the time to spend blending and figuring out what brush to use. So I'm always going to kind of sweep this on my neck because it has sunscreen on it. And I think it's really important to just have some sort of layer of protection out there, especially the older we get, the more important that is. I'm just going to try and make sure I put it everywhere. And it's kind of nice because it just feels like you're putting on like more moisturizer, but it does kind of even out your skin tone a little bit in a really fun way. So I do have this little paper towel that's wet so I can kind of wipe my fingers off as I go. So I'm going to do that. Okay, so next step, concealer. So I'm Italian and I have these hereditary dark circles that I like to mask anytime I can. And I am obsessed with this. I guess it's, let's see, Maybelline Instant Age Rewind. It's called the Eraser Multi-Use Concealer. I've been using this for several years now, and this is the best thing that works for me with my dark circles. So basically what I'm gonna do is you typically just kind of wind it up and then it'll distribute the product on this little spongy piece. So I just typically kind of go around like this and just put it in all the little areas that are dark, but then I also kind of do this V shape and then I'll blend it later. So I just kind of go around, and for me, my dark circles extend to the corners of my eyes and all the way out here as well. So I'm just going to kind of use that as a guide, and then I'm just going to do like a V or an upside down triangle. And then my nose has been breaking out really badly for whatever reason. So I'm just going to kind of maybe just do a couple little spots right there, just to spot check. So again, this was the Age Rewinder, and then this one is in light. So if you wanted to pick that up, it's awesome. I finally got on the bandwagon of using these little spongy things, or a beauty blender, as they call them. So I typically use my ring finger to do this, but I've actually found that this is pretty useful, and it's actually faster at kind of blending in the concealer. So I'm going to go in and blend that now. I'm going to see if I can change my light a little bit so that it's a little bit more so you can see it. Nope, that's not good. Let's just leave it where it was. Okay. So I'm going to go in here and just kind of blend. And I'm just going to kind of hit the corner of my eyes. And I'm just going to kind of blend in that V shape. And then I'm going to just get the eyelid as well, just like with some concealer, just to kind of start me off. So I don't have to do a whole lot of eyeshadow or anything. Sometimes I flip it around just to kind of get right there on my lash line. And then I kind of hit the corners of my nose because those are a little bit red. And just kind of blend it out. And again, I'm just going to kind of hit my eyelids as well with this concealer, just to kind of brighten up my eyes a little bit. Because I really don't do a whole lot of eyeshadow. I honestly just don't know how to do it. I don't have the patience for it. And my eyes are pretty sunken in, so I don't really like to do a whole lot of zhuzhing up there. Okay, so I just kind of let the concealer be my eyeshadow. Although, when I'm feeling fun, sometimes I'll use this really fun. This is from CVS. It's called L'Oreal Paris, and it's called Infallible 24-hour eyeshadow, and it's iced latte. And this is just like a really fun, like kind of shimmery, like white, or I guess it's like a beigey. It just kind of brightens up my eyes a little bit. So I'm just going to throw that right here on my eyelids. And then I just pick up a little bit. Because you don't need a whole lot because it's just very shimmery. Especially now that we're stuck in the house all day, I just kind of like to do some fun shimmery things. Just because it makes me feel happy. So I'm going to go through and just kind of like sweep this, and then I'll just kind of bring it up to here too. That looks pretty good. Sometimes I'll kind of hit the corners a little bit just for a little bit of brightening. I'm telling you, this is not a tutorial for the people who want to know how to do makeup well. This is the tutorial for the busy gal. The gal on the go who wants to save a little bit of money with some CVS or Walgreens or whatever drugstore is closest to you, those products. So let's see, what next? I'm going to do my L'Oreal Paris True Match powder. So this is in warm. You can tell it's like almost completely gone. I'm going to actually scrape down the sides of this. I'll probably have to make a run at some point and go get some more of this. So this is just what I'm going to use too. So I use the bottom of my brush to kind of scrape down the sides because I don't want it to go to waste, and I really don't want to make a trip to the drugstore right now. So I'm going to just kind of take some of this, tap it off, and just kind of go around and just put it all around my face in just kind of circular motions. I always kind of hit my neck just so that everything kind of matches up. I go around my forehead. I even kind of go around my eyes just to kind of make sure that that concealer's set. And then I'll do one more pass of the neck just to make sure everything's kosher, nice and blended. That's it. I'm gonna throw that in the bag. Done. Let's see what's next. Every now and then when I'm feeling fancy, I'll use some sort of bronzer, but this is actually not from the drugstore because I ran out of my drugstore bronzer, so I won't use it in this tutorial. But what I will do is I'll use my little blush that I got, and it's called Cheekers, and this is CoverGirl, and I don't even see what color this is. I think it's just called Blush. So I'm going to go in here, and I'm just going to grab a little bit of this just to put some nice red cheek, little little rouge on your cheeks, especially if you haven't seen the sun in a while, being quarantined. It's just kind of a nice little pop of color. And that's it. I'm gonna throw that in the bag now. We're done with that. Let's see what else. And then my very last step is typically just eyeliner and mascara, and then a little bit of lipstick. So I'm going to start with my eyeliner. I like eyeliner, and I like it on the bottom because I have some pretty big eyes, so I can kind of do sort of a heavier eyeliner without it looking too crazy. But if you have smaller eyes, then you could just do the eyeliner on the top here, and then do your mascara. So I'm going to do the bottom just because I love mascara, always have. And I just kind of scrape it down the bottom here, and if there's any excess, I just use my finger to kind of get rid of it. Again, I know that you gals who can do your makeup really well are probably cringing at some of these techniques, but this is what I have to work with. My fingers are my best friends. Just kind of do that, and then I just kind of go through and make sure it's kind of closer to the lash line, especially since it's during the day. We're not going out anywhere tonight, unfortunately. And then last step is really just my mascara and my lipstick. Oh, and then the eyeliner is a CoverGirl Perfect Point Plus, and it's in Black Onyx. Okay, and then I've got my Maybelline Lash Stiletto. This is my favorite mascara. I'm obsessed with this. I have been for a very long time. So I'm just going to go through, and I'm just going to, you know, what I do with my mascara is I kind of move it from side to side while I'm sweeping upwards. Kind of take off some of the excess that's on the tip there, so I can really get in to the corners without messing up that wonderful eyeshadow I put on earlier. And then I like to kind of go back and forth between using the tip for the outside of the lashes and then the inside as well. And again, I'm just doing these little subtle motions of back and forth just to make sure it's super even. This is probably the most tedious part of my makeup routine, but it's so worth it. I cannot live without mascara. I love it so much. And you see, I also kind of blink a lot when I'm doing it. And that's really what I found to be the most successful in sort of not having clumps and kind of separating them. Again, I'm going to go back and forth between the outer and the inner with this tip of the wand. And then my eyelashes are kind of long, so I actually wait until the top dries before I'll do my bottom. Or else when I go to do the bottom, I'll have all these like little black dots on my eyelids or near my brow line. So I'm not going to do that. Sometimes I just go through and just make sure it's all straight. I really wish I had a better light for you guys to see the results here. But you know what? We gotta work with it, you know? So I use two different lipsticks. These are, again, from the drugstore. I've got Sassy Mauve, and I've got Wink for Pink. These are both Revlon lipsticks. And what I do is I'll take the Sassy Mauve and I'll just kind of scrape it across like the outside of my lips. And I really just do the bottom, and then I do a little like that. Again, it is not correct. It is not what you've seen on other tutorials, I'm sure. And then I take the lighter Wink for Pink color, and I just kind of blend it in like this. Do a little bit of that, and that is it. So I'm going to take my hair down to show you the full results. And this is day-old hair. So yesterday I curled my my hair with a straightener, and I did like pretty tight curls, so that today, after I slept in it and I kind of took it out of my ponytail, it would be the types of curls that I actually prefer, which is sort of like a loose wave. So there you have it. That is a complete drugstore makeup tutorial. Let me see if I can get, yeah, so you can kind of see, and I haven't done my bottom lashes yet. And then what's really cool is if you wanted to do some like highlighting, you could actually take that eyeshadow that we used earlier. It was at the bottom. The Infallible Eyeshadow Iced Latte, and you can actually just take a little bit like this. You can see it's very concentrated. So you could just do a little bit of a highlight there, a little bit of a highlight there, and then you could even hit your nose a little bit and a little bit there, and just make sure you blend it in. So that is that. I'm gonna actually turn this light off and see if it looks any different in the just natural sunlight. So let's see. So you can kind of see, totally easy, all drugstore products. All right, guys, well, I hope you guys are staying safe. I'll turn that back on. I hope you guys are staying safe and occupied during this quarantine, and I hope this tutorial helps you in case you can't go to your, favorite makeup stores and you just need to run to a quick drugstore just for just a quick touch-up, even if you're just staying at home all day. All right, thanks. Bye.